What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here, joined by Dilly Vanilli. We are here for our WWE Raw review, the first one of 2017, January the 2nd, 2017. Thank you to all our subscribers. If you subscribed in 2016, 2015, whenever you subscribe, thanks for subscribing and sticking with the channel. And if you're still a watcher, a viewer of these Raw reviews week to week, we thank you because this show is at an all-time terrible level. And, you know, if you're still watching WWE, maybe you just watch our reviews. Either way, thanks for sticking with us. We appreciate you. All right. So we had WWE Raw tonight, and it was bad, to say the least. I think, I don't know, Dylan, if you have that statistic yet. I'll let you find that statistic. Yeah. But this Raw was literally match, Goldberg. That was literally this Raw tonight, and I could not stand what I was watching. It was awful. The entire show was boring. It was dull. It was repetitive. It was the same show we saw last week, the week before that, the week before that, the week before that. It was Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho talking about the same stuff. It was Roman Reigns doing the same match. It was Mick Foley doing the same gimmick. It was the same old, same old. There were a couple of decent parts. If we're not even counting Goldberg, there was very minimal good parts. And I felt like I literally wanted to shoot myself in the head watching this episode of Raw. It's just terrible. Dylan, did you pull that statistic up?
I tried finding it. Unfortunately, they do not have the results on there yet.
All right. So just for the audience at home, what I was trying to get at was the actual time, the amount of wrestling that was on the show. Because as I've been preaching to the choir, you know, WWE is at an all-time wrestling peak. And what I mean by that is they love the wall-to-wall wrestling. And for some viewers, they still don't think there's enough wrestling on the show, which I don't know what you're smoking there. But let me go through the amount of matches that were on the show. All right. Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, 1. Cesaro versus Carl Anderson, 2. Braun Strowman versus Sami Zayn, 3. That was a last man standing match, by the way.
But hold on. Let's go by match, and let me guess in my head, you know, roughly around how long these
Okay, let's start with Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins.
That was about I would say a 12 to 13 minute match, somewhere around there.
Cesaro versus Carl Anderson.
That was a good 7 to 8 minutes. We'll put 8 there. Okay.
Braun Strowman versus Sami Zayn. Last man standing match.
That was like 15 minutes. So there's 15.
Xavier Woods versus Titus O'Neil.
That was a good 6 minutes.
Cedric Alexander versus Drew Gulak for some reason.
That was like 5 minutes long.
Roman Reigns versus Chris Jericho.
Fucking hell, that was like 20 minutes long.
TJ Perkins versus Brian Kendrick.
That was like 8 minutes long.
Cass versus Rusev and Jinder frickin' Mahal.
That was like 3 minutes long.
Bayley versus Nia Jax.
And that was about 7 minutes long.
That's 9 matches.
That's 9 matches, and that equals to roughly, of course, we don't know the statistics, 85 minutes of wrestling, which is almost an hour and a half of wrestling on a program where you're supposed to build to the pay-per-view. 85 minutes. 9 matches.
Okay, can you tell me the point of having TJ Perkins versus Brian Kendrick?
For the 7,000th time? No, I have no idea.
Can you tell me the purpose of having Jinder Mahal in a wrestling match or even on your show?
Well, they did build it from the segment we had 2 weeks ago, but still, nobody cares about Jinder Mahal. So,
can you tell me the reason why Cedric Alexander is wrestling Drew Gulak?
No clue.
Can you tell me why they're giving away Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins tonight for no reason?
Yeah, they had it as 2 pay-per-view main events, and now it's on a regular episode of Raw because we have to rinse and repeat the show for a month.
Dylan, I'm just wondering, I don't know if you've ever heard of these things, but have you ever heard of like a segment that builds a match? Have you ever heard?
Man, it's so hard to think of one, but
I think it's called a promo. I'm not exactly sure.
I think in a parallel universe there was a such thing, but in this one, oh God, I don't know.
Like What are we getting? What did we do on this show? Like,
oh, God. There was two things I said right before the show that I actually enjoyed, and the rest of the show can go fuck itself. It was awful.
All right, we're gonna try and go segment by segment, but we're kind of going we're going a new direction on these Raw reviews because these shows are so freaking bad. I'm literally there, and I'm sitting there on my couch with my blanket because it's cold, and I'm starting to fall asleep watching these matches, bro. Like, it is so boring. I am like about to shoot myself in the head. So
I think you know what? I feel bad for you guys. This is the first Raw 2017. You know, we're trying to be excited because, you know.
I can't. Okay, 2017. One of the things I set out to do in 2017 for WWE is be straight up with everybody, all right? If this show sucked, it sucked. And it freaking sucked. That's all I got to say, all right? So let's start off the show. Okay, so I'm not only am I gonna say it sucked, but I'm gonna give you the reasons why it sucked. I'm not just gonna sit here and say it sucked for no reason.
I'm also gonna have a tracker of holy shit, we've seen this segment before moments, and I'll add it up at the end of the day.
Make sure you get our special guest. I made sure to text him for later on in the night.
Oh yes, he'll be here.
Okay, so this is January 2nd, 2017 edition of Monday Night Raw. Exhilarating. Okay, so we have Mick Foley come out for a little bit of a promo. I'm like, all right, let's see what's gonna set the stage for the show tonight. Nothing cool. It's just Mick Foley with a different haircut, a new style. All right, cool. Mick Foley cut his hair. Thank Jesus. All right, so what did he do? He wrote the city on his hand because he can never remember what city he's in.
He did it one time. That's such a funny joke.
And then he brings up the shark cage on the stage. I'm actually happy that they had the shark cage on the stage. They're starting to build that up as a part of the match. Cool. Okay, Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens come out. Of course.
That's segment 1 that we've already repeated from like 2 weeks ago.
All right, so that's number 1 on the repeated last week trend. Yeah. Okay, so Jericho calls himself a sexy pinata, which was actually pretty funny. Other than that, I could give a crap about this segment. I mean, like, Jericho and Owens talk about Foley's abuse of power. They go on and on week after week about how Jericho has an issue with Foley and Foley hates Jericho. When has Foley done one thing to make him look like he hates Jericho? I mean, like, he puts him in matches because he's a wrestler. But other than that, has he ever done anything to make him hate him? It's like when on SmackDown, I have the same issue. It's like they call Dean Ambrose the lunatic fringe, but he never does anything to make himself a lunatic. He just goes like this with his tongue a lot.
I mean, you had a pretty nice segment last week. I mean,
SmackDown is good. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of character issues with the show still. And
don't compare greatness to trash.
Okay, the thing is, Dylan, you say that SmackDown is greatness. It's average, but it makes Raw.
No, I wouldn't say
because of Raw, SmackDown looks like A+ material.
I wouldn't say it's average.
It looks like 1999.
Bro, I'm not saying SmackDown's average. I'm not saying it's oh my god a magnum opus, but it's a pretty fun show for 2 hours.
You know why it's pretty fun? Because it doesn't have 9 matches in a row.
It actually has something to get you interested, or doesn't repeat the same segments over and over. Like, I swear, we missed last week, and like, oh, fresh start 2017, let's do this. And then they repeated the show we watched 2 weeks ago.
I was like, maybe WWE, they're going to have a new show, a new, book a different type of show tonight because it's 2017. Maybe they see that SmackDown's beat them in the ratings, so they want to change up the way they're doing things.
Which, by the way, they brought that up in the show, in the first segment.
That was probably the best part of the entire show.
Yeah,
all right?
They brought it up. Yeah.
Is that in this segment? I don't think so. Is it?
Yeah, it is. Because Stephanie comes out later on.
Yeah. So let's get to Stephanie's part. So Stephanie comes out. I'm not sure if she was on last week's show because, like I said, I skipped it. First one I've skipped in like a year. Thank God. I can only imagine how bad it was. So the thing is,
Well,
before Stephanie even comes out, Foley actually mentions that it's going to be the first ever Kevin Owens show. He always talks about the Kevin Owens show, but we're going to actually have a Kevin Owens show. And my thing is with these talk shows that they have on WWE, it's flooded with talk shows. I mean, Jericho has his own talk show. Miz has his talk show. Ambrose has a damn talk show. I mean, everybody. Rollins has a talk show. I mean, everybody has a damn talk show. Can we do something a little bit different? Maybe have, something a little bit different for the Kevin Owens show?
It might have been creative in like 98, but everybody has their own talk show.
At least make it like a Canadianized talk show. You know what I mean? Like really Canadian. Like that would have been funny. But anyways, like settle down with the talk shows. I know that the Kevin Owens thing kind of makes sense, but still, like too many talk shows. It's like the backstage interview. Too many backstage interviews, which they actually didn't have tonight. I don't think at all, because they were too busy, Dylan, having too many matches in a row. They had yeah.
Bro, you couldn't they cut in half the show in wrestling, so they were like, oh.
Well, technically more than half, because if you count for the commercials, I mean, all right. So. Let's go. So Foley, he says that, and the first guest will be Goldberg. Stephanie comes out, and I like Stephanie coming out. She's back. I'm not sure if she was back last week, like I said, but this week she comes out and she says, it's nice to. It's basically like she basically puts everybody on notice. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Stephanie's character right now. I like Stephanie herself. I think she can do some good stuff, but like her character is so like. I don't know what to describe it as, but it's very bipolar. Like at 1 second she's like, Mick, I love you, Mick, and then 1 second she's like, Mick, you screwed up. What are you doing, you idiot? I don't understand what she's doing. Like she's bipolar. I don't understand.
It's the fucking McMahon family. They just do whatever they want. I'm like,
So Stephanie, the best thing that happened on the show probably was when she was like, we lost to SmackDown in the ratings, so we need to bump our show up. We need to have some things happen. So what do we do, Dylan? Dylan, what is this magnificent thing that Raw tries to do to gain more viewers? What do they attempt to do on the show?
More fucking wrestling.
But not only more wrestling, but what type of matches do they put on the show?
Repetitive matches we've already seen. Oh god, it's not god. Is it this complicated to write a show? Like, aren't there supposed to be different bookers and writers for different shows? Like, this can't be complicated.
I mean, bro, they have they just have Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho switch places every Raw.
And then we get the same matches again. Like last week, I didn't watch the show, but I know there was Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns for the U.S. title. And I'm like, dude, that's one of your title matches at Royal Rumble.
And tonight, what did we have? Chris Jericho versus Roman Reigns for the U.S. title. What?
Which we already had like 2 weeks ago. And then they had Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins, which was 2 of your pay-per-view main events last year. Fucking Christ.
Okay, so at this point, I'm like, not a terrible opening segment. I've seen worse, but let's continue on to the show. All right, so we have Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. The loser is banned for the Jericho Reigns match because we know who's going to win the match already. All right. Like, my thing is with this, not only is it a repeat of the last few weeks, but in my opinion, I've said this for many years on this channel on reviews, SmackDown reviews. These matches should not be on the show, period. Like maybe once a month, once every 2 months, not every week. These matches are meant for pay-per-views. If Kevin Owens is your big star, if he's your big draw, keep him for the pay-per-view. Seth Rollins is your big draw. Why is he wrestling so often on Raw? This just makes fans not think he's a big star. It's like, oh, you're just giving away a free match. It used to be back in the day, like 80s, 90s, when the wrestling was at its height, they saved their wrestlers for the big shows where they could make big money. And it just seems like they don't treat their wrestlers like stars. Thus, we don't think they are stars.
They're not. There's like 3 on this entire.
They are not stars because, first of all, they're not booked like stars, and I really don't think they're as talented as the people in the past. But, I think it's a combination. It's mostly to do with the way WWE books them, though.
Yeah, I challenge this company to go a full Raw show with just promos and skits, okay? It will never happen. Even if you get paid to do it. You'll never.
I mean, like, you can have matches. I'm not saying
no, I want
matches out. I'm saying don't have 9 matches.
No, I saw an Impact Wrestling episode where it was 2 hours long, and they did nothing but segments and promos to build up to their pay-per-view. And guess what? It was a great episode because it's television, okay? God, I hate this show.
Okay, so do you want to guess the finish of this match?
Oh, I can only imagine what a Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins.
Okay, so Kevin Owens, he gets disqualified using the ring bell, right? But not only does he get disqualified, he gets himself banned from ringside from Chris Jericho. So there's like 5 different problems with this, all right? So Kevin Owens, I was confused on the finish. It didn't make any sense. Second, Chris Jericho did not confront Kevin Owens for being disqualified.
Nope.
Your best friend that was supposed to be by ringside got disqualified. Would you not be a little pissed off?
Mm-hmm.
He basically pussied out of the match. Third, that brings me to my next point. The champion looks like a pussy because not only did he disqualify himself, but he left the ring and almost got pedigreed by the guy that's not even facing you for the title. So there's that.
I'm honestly just sick of this show. Sick of it. Can it be New Year's Eve again? Next segment. I have nothing else to say on this.
I'm just I'm baffled. All right. Next, because we really want to see this match so much, we had Cesaro versus Carl Anderson.
Bro, okay. This is my all-time favorite matchup. Oh God. Two guys bottled up with charisma.
There's people tweeting on Twitter at least Carl Anderson won. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Because the fans don't care about Carl Anderson.
Why should we care?
He's lost 500 matches in a row. The guy has no gimmick. His gimmick is that he's bald.
Nerd. That's basically all.
It calls people nerds, yeah.
Well, that's more Doc Gallows, but he is a nerd, according to their logic. Who gives a shit?
And he's facing Cesaro with the worst entrance of all time. But anyways, Anderson did win the match. Yippee-ki-yay. But he still has no character and nobody cares about him, so it doesn't matter.
And these guys are going to be facing in a tag title match at Rumble. Yay. I will fucking kill myself.
All right. If you're tuning into this review, let us know what you thought of Raw. As you can tell by our tone, it was pretty awful. All right. Braun Strowman versus Sami Zayn. Last man standing match.
I get to say something positive.
One of my things about this would have been way better if this wasn't one of the 9 matches on the show. I mean, by this point in the show, I think we're only 45 minutes in and we've had 2 matches. And
we're getting in.
One of them was 20 minutes. And now this last man standing match is going to be 30 minutes long. It's a last man standing match. Who books a last man standing match in the middle of Raw?
Who books it in hour 1 confuses me, honestly. I still thought it was good.
I mean, there were good positive points to it. I think, it helps Zayn a little bit more than it helps Strowman, in my opinion, because Zayn was after him with the chair and stuff, and I was like, why is Strowman running away?
I don't think it really hurts him that much. I mean, it doesn't hurt him
because he won the match and the way he won the match, and he redeemed himself at the end, and he had that epic line, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
That was hilarious. I was like, what the fuck is this? Ashes to ashes.
Yeah, the only issue I had with this match, I really liked the backstage part where he was throwing shit and they were fighting backstage. That was cool and that was creative. But the parts where Strowman was running away because Zayn had a chair was kind of confusing. Like, it just wasn't realistic to me.
Nobody wants to get hit with a chair, bro.
I mean, like, you saw this guy chuck him, like, across the ring, like, how many times?
Didn't have a chair, though.
He could probably just block the chair with his hands and then throw him.
To be fair, he did block a kendo stick and then just proceeded to break it. So
yeah, so I think it did good for both guys. I'm not going to complain that much, but again, it was like the 4th match on the show by now, and it was a last man standing match in hour 1 of Raw. Really.
Great booking.
If you want to praise this, Dylan, go ahead.
This is one of the 2 praises I'll give the show all night. I thought this was good. I enjoyed what they did with Sami Zayn. They gave him some kind of perseverance thing, which they've been doing for a while, but this proved it, but it also ended it because Braun beat the shit out of him. I thought it was good and enjoyable. So that's all I'm going to say about it. One of the only positive things on the show.
Okay. We have the New Day. This is one of the most despicable segments I've ever seen in my life. Okay. So, the New Day come out. Do I even have to do this? Like, the New Day come out to the ring, and they're going to do their New Day resolutions because it's a new year. It's 2017. Fine. Cool. All right. So they're about to get into their resolutions, and Titus O'Neil interrupts. Titus O'Neil says that the Titus brand should be the new member of the New Day. And then he starts whistling, twerking, dancing, and I can't even explain, like,
my embarrassment for this was, oh god, like, thank god.
The only good part of this is when Titus punched Xavier at the end. Other than that, it was awful. Like, it was one of the worst. It's one of the worst segments of 2017, and 2017 just started. I mean,
it's only going to get worse from here. I hope not. God, this was awful. Titus O'Neil lost in 20 seconds to Mark Henry like 2 weeks ago in the Rumble in the jungle or some bullshit like that.
Somebody gonna get their ass kicked.
Hey, that man's a legend.
Get their butt whipped.
I wish he was on the show. This was awful. Another black man in New Day. Not racist. It kind of just blends in with the 4 people. God. Just seeing a grown man shake his ass and whistle. For wrestling,
especially a guy that's about 6'9".
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what just happened?
Comedy, everybody. Yay. By the way, I'm giving my reactions. I'm putting emojis by every reaction to each of these segments. Okay. So I've had 2 straight faces where I'm just like, no reaction. One where I had like the one where it's like taper around it or whatnot. A smiley face for the Sammy Braun stuff, and the medical hospital, like where you put the thing over your head, and then sweats for this segment because I was about to die. So.
All right. So that leads to Xavier Woods versus Titus O'Neil. Xavier gets the win. Question.
Okay.
Why have this segment if Titus is going to lose?
To waste time.
Thank you.
And this emoji goes to, like, the question face. Like, why the fuck was this on the show?
Nope, this was the 4th match of the night. Stephanie McMahon with Bayley backstage.
Oh, God, where's the dead emoji here? Where's the cringe?
So Stephanie says that she never wanted Bayley to be on Raw because she's Bayley and not Charlotte.
But didn't you fucking draft her?
Stephanie says, or Bayley says, I don't even remember. Stephanie was like, yeah, you kind of won me over with your ridiculous speech.
Now, can I give you Bayley's promo?
Go ahead. Give me Bayley's reaction to Stephanie. I am the best. I'm gonna make history and become Trish Stratus and Lita because that's what we all want to be.
You have to be more boring and more cringe. Okay. Well, I'm Bayley, and not everybody likes that, but I'm Bayley. And
okay. This is the number one problem with Bayley. She's Bayley.
She's Bayley.
What is her character?
She's got a nice ass, bro.
This is my example of what I tweeted like 2 months ago to that guy. Why is Bayley like? Why is she so popular? She doesn't have a character. Her character is Bayley.
Well, hold on. I don't. By the way, before I even showed this is because I got it sent to me in a package. I did not buy this shit. She's got these teddy bears and fucking we're John Cena girl version, empowerment for females and trash. And actually, that just went in my trash can.
All right, we got a message. I got 3 words for you. Raw sucks ass. Exactly.
Yeah, my man.
Thank you. Can anybody please explain to me what Bayley's character is? That is the next question I'll pose to you.
Oh, God. We'll get into
throughout this entire segment. And Stephanie, for some reason, this is back to the bipolar thing. All right, I said Stephanie's bipolar. She says, I hate you, Bayley. And then she's like, oh, you know what? I'll put you in a number 1 contenders match because I hate you.
She only did it because it was Nia Jax, but still, that makes absolutely no sense. Just make a Nia Jax match 1-on-1 without. Yeah. Oh, God. Fucking no sense. Bayley was just awful. Somebody needs to teach her how to cut
it was the Sasha Eddie promo.
Which there's like 5,000 of those. Which one?
I mean, that is what the template of this promo was.
Oh, I'm Bayley, and not everybody likes me, but I'm just gonna go out there and wrestle because I'm Bayley. Give me some charisma, man. I can cut a better promo than this.
Okay, let's get to the best part of the show. So there was Alicia Fox, and then there was two guys beside her. I don't know.
but Alicia Fox is the best part.
Alicia Fox was there, so it was good. Okay, so what actually happened? Not that I noticed because I was just looking at Alicia. But Alicia Fox is there with Cedric Alexander, and Noam Dar comes out. And I actually kind of like this story they've been having. They haven't really picked it up very well lately, but
it was funny.
Noam's kind of creeping Alicia the whole time. And then Noam's like, I'm going to apologize. And Cedric's like, you should be apologizing to Alicia. And then he's like, this was super cheesy. He's like, oh, sweet cheeks. I'm sorry or whatever. And then Alicia freaks out. I'm like, dude, this was so cringeworthy, but at the same time, Alicia was in it. So
no. We just watched the cringiest segment of the year.
But that was pretty bad too. Who says sweet cheeks?
But it's part of his gimmick, so I'm gonna give him a pass.
I guess.
It was funny.
All right, I'll give that a pass. Okay, so you have Cedric Alexander, and no, he's not wrestling Noam Dar.
No, that would make too much sense.
I mean, what sense does this make, Dylan? Instead of having an extended promo, an extended feud segment where you can build these two characters up of Noam and Cedric Alexander and Alicia Fox and the whole story between the three of them, you have a match that makes no sense. You have Cedric Alexander versus Noam Dar, or not Noam Dar, but whatever, Drew Gulak. Why? Why don't you just make this one segment of them doing something creative? Maybe Cedric is on a date with Alicia and Noam is beside them with another girl and he's looking over oh, hey, Alicia and stuff. I don't know, something creative. I mean, do something.
The key word that this company doesn't understand, and you just said it a lot, creativity. That segment sounds amazing. However, we just have to have meaningless wrestling matches because wrestling matches are the quota of 2017. More matches, more matches, more matches. Who cared about this match? My expression for this one was the teeth grinning, just disappointment because who the fuck cares? And then Drew Gulak won because of interference by Alicia Fox and Tony Nese. Nese should have a title at this point. There's
some comments in here in the live chat. Just some complaints about the cruiserweight division. Blame Vince and the gay-ass creative team. They're killing the cruiserweights. Another guy says, to be fair, no one in the Divas division has a character. I'm sure that's referring to Bayley.
Yes.
I would say that the only one that does is Charlotte. 205 Live is the best for them. Neville will win the title tomorrow. I hope so. Neville's the only cruiserweight that I care about. And because he's the only one that actually has a character on the show. And to go back to the cruiserweights, I mean, the reason why nobody cares about them is because the way they debuted them in the WWE was not the Cruiserweight Classic. That was fine and everything, and that was the way to kind of get them and see how they would react, like the hardcore fan base. But with the casual fan base, you need to introduce their character, and the way that they did it is they introduced them by showing video packages of them doing flips and kicks and stuff. And to be honest, the casual audience that is watching Raw every week isn't watching the WWE Network at the same time like you or me or anything. So they're not going to care if, these guys
are basically new. Just watch the Mortal Kombat entrances when they get into katana. It's basically, that's what they did for these wrestlers, and it shows, because Neville, who was not in this thing to start, is the only person that matters in this division.
It's awful. I do like watching Neville, though. I've always been a fan of Neville, but especially now because what he's doing with his character. We'll see if they continue it. It's gotten a little bit better over the last couple of weeks. I mean, it was terrible to start with, but it's gotten a tiny bit better. We'll continue, though. But Alicia, thumbs up. Roman Reigns versus Chris Jericho. So, of course, Kevin Owens is banned. Let's go Roman, and Roman sucks. Chance happened throughout the arena, and I'm just wondering to myself, this guy is struck with Cena syndrome.
This booking, man, holy shit.
This booking for Roman Reigns is the reason why everybody hates him. It's not Roman Reigns.
No, there's a point, right, in this match. It's towards the end that pissed me off. So
the title thing,
yes,
right?
Okay, so Jericho grabs the U.S. title while the referee is distracted and throws it to Roman Reigns and falls on the ground. Okay, it's a classic Eddie Guerrero spot, fish out of water spot. He used the title to hit him. And remember, the stipulation is if it's a count out or disqualification, Jericho will win the U.S. title. Okay, that's a segment, or that's a booking decision strictly based to get you invested in Jericho or Roman Reigns.
What does that make sense? If you're gonna do that finish, Dylan, you have the guy that did that win. Okay, exactly. If the ref doesn't see you. If the ref doesn't see Jericho throw the title, hit himself with the title and throw it at Reigns, then he should automatically be disqualified. Because logically makes no sense.
Because we've seen it with Eddie Guerrero. He won that exact same way before. And then last year, during a title match, Dana Brooke got thrown out because she hit Sasha Banks with it. Because, Sasha, Eddie Guerrero, we got to bring that shit up again. But come on, man. Now
this is why people hate Reigns, because he gets special treatment. Same with Cena, right? Yep. They get special treatment.
And then on top of that, Jericho hits a code breaker. I'm like, oh.
And then he kicks out.
I'm like, it's not that I'm liking Roman Reigns more, right? But this booking forces me not to. It's ridiculous. He overcame the odds. Oh my God. I literally, when he got hit with the code breaker and kicked out, I'm like, fuck off. And I went to the kitchen to go get something because I just was like, I'm out of this. I know who's going to win at this point. Who cares? So this one gets a white face, no expression, or no, a sad face. So just because this.
And why is Jericho being taken seriously when all he does is lose? All I do is lose, no matter what.
Oh, I was thinking, I was going to spell out Jericho because, you say Jets.
Oh, yeah. Jets, lose. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that is Jericho.
Jericho now. But Jericho is still good, so.
Yeah. Okay, say Roman's going to be dual champion. That could happen.
Go on.
Might happen. Oh, yay! We got another cruiserweight match. So we have Ash Ketchum, otherwise known as TJ
You're welcome.
Perkins, the guy with the 3D glasses, versus Brian Kendrick for the 700th time.
Yeah,
so
I was about to say, there's
Ash
another
Ketchum
one.
versus heroin addict. And Ash Ketchum wins because he got to catch them all.
Now, which emoji fits this one? Because, man. Okay, I'm going to give the big bug-eyed, because this, why? Why do I care? They already had a storyline 3 months ago, and then they're just like, oh, repeat matches, repeat, rinse and repeat, repeat, repeat.
You know what I don't get? You have Austin Aries on commentary.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of doing the match, why don't you build a segment with Austin Aries?
Yeah. It'd be nice to. I mean, he's still injured, but...
I mean, it doesn't mean he doesn't have to wrestle.
I know, but... they even alluded to it. They're like, Austin's like, yeah, I'll be a part of the Cruiserweight division. I beat everybody in there. I'm like, bro, there you go. Do something.
One guy said Brian Kendrick is a jobber at this point. Yeah. Reigns needs to be heel. I agree.
Yes, very much.
I think he would be a great heel because, like I said last week and numerous times, the guy, I think he has so many qualities that make people hate him. There's just so many things about him that is easy to hate. I mean, the guy looks better than everybody else.
There's a reason why the Miz is a way better heel than a face. Have you seen his face run? It was shit. Okay.
I mean, and the Maurice. I mean,
yeah, exactly. More fun,
there are just qualities about certain people that make them more attractive as a face or a heel.
Yeah.
Like Rey Mysterio as a heel, that doesn't really work.
When was he? Was he ever a heel? He might have been in WCW. I don't think he ever was in the...
I mean, that's just what I'm saying. Like, it's hard to hate Mysterio.
Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense.
Easy to hate Roman Reigns.
Easy. Easy booking for dumb writers. Go get. We need to make a book. You know how they had those instructional books? They're yellow and they're called
WWE Writing for Dummies.
Yeah, it was like wrestling booking for dummies. Go get it. $8.99.
Okay, so this was wrestling booking for dummies. Cass versus Rusev and Jinder Mahal. The best part about this was Enzo on the wheelchair.
That was funny.
I mean, other than that.
I mean, this was a throwaway segment because I'm like, okay, this segment has been quite good. These guys have been quite good with each other. I don't know what happened last week.
Oh, well, they said they basically gave us, what they wanted to do with this when they put them in the pre-show. After they had that amazing segment on Raw one night, they had a great feud leading up to that pay-per-view, and they stick them in the pre-show.
I've given up. When was the last time Raw consistently was a good show? It seems like a distant memory. It really does. And the one segment that they could actually do something with, they're just like, nah.
Do you want to recap the Bayley versus Nia Jax? Because I really don't want to.
Okay, I'll sum it up here. Bayley and Nia Jax had a match where Sasha Banks interfered, or not interfered, but came out. Why? Because I guess they have a feud she has a feud with Nia Jax. Bayley wins. Who gives a shit? The booking for both women is absolutely atrocious, especially Nia Jax, who's supposed to be a big-time women's wrestler, and then just loses matches like this. Dumbfounding. We're going to get another Charlotte Bayley match. Whoop-de-fucking-do. I don't care. I don't care about this women's division. Please go watch SmackDown. That's all I have to say.
And by the way, it is not Tamina in the mask. It is freaking Mickie James. All right.
Wait, no, it probably was her, but they're just gonna say it's Mickie.
That's right. Yeah, probably. But I mean,
yeah, I'm like, it probably will be, but it wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah, people are looking at a magnifying glass of who's in the mask. I'm like, it's Mickie James. It's not her right now, but it's gonna be her.
It's me, Foster. It's me, Alexa. It's me all along.
It's me all along.
Oh, that son of a bitch.
All right. We did that. Kevin Owens Show featuring Goldberg. Okay, so there is a guy in the ring.
This is funny.
That I don't know if it's like stuck to his head or if he's like holding it, because his arms are like by his side.
It's like, I don't know, like they got one of those things where you put it like it's like like you have a string to hold it in the back of your head, probably.
Yeah, it's like the Kevin Owens sign, but it's on his face. It was pretty good. But the set, nothing original other than that. It's just another talk show in WWE.
Did have a beach chair in the.
It had a beach chair. I mean, Goldberg threw it out of the ring. So Kevin Owens comes in. He's like, Chris Jericho is my first guest, and Chris Jericho puts Tampa Bay on the list. He announces that he's going to be the third entrant in the Royal Rumble. And here comes Goldberg. So Goldberg comes out. He throws the chair. He says, Jericho, you just announced you're in Royal Rumble. You're first. And then
which is quite weird. I mean, how does he know what the placement of the match?
I don't know. He's just guessing, I guess.
He's not.
And then there was this awkward moment where like they were kind of not speaking, and then Goldberg was like, spear, jackhammer. That's what happens. And then nobody reacted to it.
Yeah, they're just like.
I'm like, okay. Owen says, am I supposed to be intimidated? And then he starts throwing furniture around and stuff outside the ring. That was fine. That was classic Kevin Owens. Paul Heyman comes out, and this is the moment where I'd like to introduce our guest of the night, Paul Lee Heyman.
Whoa. Oh, shit. Where's Heyman? I can't find him. This
Paul, you there? Paul, answer.
Bro, Heyman, where is he at? He's supposed to be here. Oh, I'm here. I had to rush down here to get my introduction here, but I'm here, ladies and gentlemen. Paul E. Heyman. My client, Brock Lesnar, is not here tonight. And let me tell you this. I will personally guarantee that Brock Lesnar will kick everybody's ass. Eliminate.
Paul, I just have one question for you, and then I'll let you go. What were you thinking when you were cuddled up in a ball when Braun Strowman came down the ramp?
Braun scares the absolute shit out of me, but there's a reason why I have my client with me at all times, except for tonight. That's why I made a big mistake. There.
All right. I hope that Brock eliminates Braun.
Let's hope so, because I don't want that beast near me ever again.
All right. Thank you, Paul.
Congratulations to Mr. Paul Lee. He took a little bit longer, He had to get. I mean, he was over there in Tampa. He had to get over here to. That was a close one.
Yep. To the man that said Goldberg sucks in the comment section.
Whoa. What?
I strongly disagree. That's fine.
Well, compared to the rest of the roster, he's fucking all compared to these people.
So Goldberg, basically, after Heyman's spiel and stuff, they elimination, repeat. Goldberg says that we got a date at WrestleMania talking to Kevin Owens or Roman Reigns. And just the thing that was rolling through my mind when Owens and Goldberg were talking and they were close up, like face to face, I was like, dude, Owens looks like a jogger.
That's so cool. I'm like, you just got me intrigued for a match I didn't even want.
Owens and Goldberg?
Oh, wait, I thought you said Goldberg and Reigns.
Oh, no. We'll get to that. Owens, Owens and Goldberg, like, dude, that's just the difference of the main event from now to like freaking like 10 years ago. Like, damn,
bro. Fuck. Hey, I'm sorry. In the immortal words of Scott Steiner himself, he's fat. I mean, come on, man. Chip it. Did you see Mick Foley? He looks pretty good. Like, weighed about the same as you over here. Lost like 100 pounds. I commend him. You should do the same.
He's getting ready for his match.
I will say he did lose a lot of weight for his ROH days, but still, look, he's fat.
So Goldberg does that, and then Reigns comes out, and he like really poorly says that Owens and Jericho are delusional. Nobody reacts. And then he has a stare down with Goldberg, which was pretty sweet. I think if Reigns is good at one thing when it comes to, like charismatic feel, it's his intensity. I think he does a pretty good job of that. Yeah. And like his stare down with Goldberg was pretty good. Like it kind of got you pumped because both these guys are pretty like jacked and like, same size, everything. They were like eye to eye. Both former football players, all that. So it was pretty cool. Braun then comes out and is Braun. He comes down the ramp.
It's the second worst one in WWE. Braun, and then just It's basically, let's make it generic, heavy metal 2010s version. Basically, I got more energy.
Heyman's like in the corner like this.
He's like cuddling, and then
it was pretty funny.
The microphone.
So then Strowman basically comes in and he says he's basically in the Royal Rumble match. That's what he says. He's like, I'm the one winning the Royal Rumble match. And I actually like Strowman for the most part, but it's just kind of like ridiculous sometimes. And then we get the double spear on Strowman by Goldberg and Reigns kind of set up, but it was fine. I mean, it was cool to see Goldberg again hit that spear with Reigns. I think it was the only like real cool part about this is kind of like the interesting feuds aspect to it. Like maybe we can see a Reigns versus Goldberg match. Maybe we'll see, Owens versus Goldberg or Jericho versus Reigns. We've seen 1,000 times. I mean, like there's a lot of different things that they could do there. And it's kind of like teasing, and WWE did a good job of that, even though I don't think that those things will happen. I'm glad that they had Paul Heyman involved in the segment. It wouldn't have made sense without him there. Goldberg was cool. He was the best part of the show, in my opinion, just the excitement level to see Goldberg. And he just brings a different excitement to the crowd, and it's just Goldberg, man.
It's Goldberg, man. You gotta appreciate
it. The spot with Goldberg and Reigns was cool. So I thought that the ending was probably the best part of the show. Other than that, man, we'll get to the rest of the show after like our overall grades. Dylan, what'd you think?
I thought this was a nice segment. I thought there were some good things, some good teases. The Goldberg-Reigns match interests me, although Reigns has to be a heel for that to work, but I think it would work beautifully if it does. I don't think it will, though. I don't think it ever happens. There's some good stuff in here. I enjoyed it. One of two segments that I actually enjoyed all night. So good thing, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, let's give our final grades for the show. Overall, this show can just fuck off. I mean, like.
So wait, do we have to grade on the realistic?
It's the scale of, if you guys don't know our scale, it's 10 to -10. I'm going to give the show a -6. It had Goldberg on it. I mean, that's a couple points right there. It had Alicia Fox with some cleavage. It had some good parts with the match. Sami Zayn versus Strowman was decent. But overall, way too much wrestling. I mean, like, they didn't get to build up anything really at all other than Goldberg. Paul Heyman was on the show. That's another plus. Jericho was fine as always. I think week after week after week, Kevin Owens continues to prove to me that he's just not fit to be champion. And I think WWE is doing a very poor job of booking him. Overall, this show, that New Day segment was awful. I mean, there were so many bad parts about the show. It deserves a -6.
I'm going to go lower. I'm going -7.5. For the 2.5 things that I actually enjoyed on the show. The match between Braun and Sami Zayn, the main event segment, and Alicia Fox. That gets a half point. There's just so many bad decisions, so many matches for no reason. Bayley can't cut a promo to save her goddamn life. People can't get themselves over. No interest for me. The Royal Rumble show is always fun, but good Lord, have they not had a good start to booking it? And yeah, there was a lot of bad on the show and a lot of why the fuck should I care? So for that, he gets a deserving negative 7.5 out of 10. Cheers.
Classy. All right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in to the WWE Raw review for January the 2nd, 2017. If you enjoyed the review, Gronk spiked that like button. Stick around on the channel. Subscribe to the channel. We got lots of WWE content. Lots coming out this week, including some things to look forward to over the course of January and into 2017, including 5 guys that I think should be world champion in 2017 will be coming out this week. Also, SmackDown review tomorrow, NXT review Wednesday, TNA Impact review for the first time in 2017 with Mike. So that's very interesting. Lots of wrestling on this channel. We like to give back to our wrestling viewers. We've been very focused on a lot of NFL content, but we also like to feature our WWE and wrestling in general. So thanks, guys. Dylan, anything?
Oh, I didn't know I get to plug something. Check out my complete NFL playoff predictions. They came out today. So, I got some interesting picks, some controversial ones. So check that out. Of course, like Mitch said, NXT on Wednesday. We're a busy bunch here at the Bottom Line View, so we're going to have a lot of content for both sports fans and wrestling fans. So stay tuned for 2017 because it's going to be even more banger than 2016. By the way, we're really close to 1,500 subscribers, so we appreciate every single one of you for that.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Peace.